Doc Peach here today. I hope you're having a good day, and I wanted to go over AB Quantum version 3.1. So this is the first major upgrade to the app, and we wanted to show y'all what changes have been made and what upgrades have been done to the app so that you know what to expect in version 3.1. This is not intended to be a walkthrough video or a guide or a start to finish how-to. This is intended to showcase what new functions and features y'all have so that you know where they are and you know what you have at your fingertips that you can use. So I'm going to start where we should always start anytime you open the app, especially when there's been a major upgrade, and that's going to be in the settings. So starting here with the settings, at the top you're going to find your subscription level. Moving down, hold precision has been further refined so that it works better, especially with click-based values, and we'll go over some of the click-based values changes here in a minute. Hold indicator is a new setting. This allows you, if you like the blue arrows, you can continue to use them, but if you'd rather have up, down, left, right, that's another setting option. And then if you'd rather just have plus or minus, that's a third setting option. So this is for the firing solutions on the HUD. You can now pick which one of these you would prefer. The table hold indicator, this is the same thing as the previous option, but for the target card and the range card, it has its own separate indicator, and you can set that to be up, down, left, right, or you can set that to be plus or minus if you'd prefer that. Moving down again, you're going to find another new unit setting, and that's going to be feet or meters for altitude. We'll talk about why that's here in a little bit, but please set that as to your preferred method while you're here looking at it. Continuing to scroll down, we now have an app theme setting. This is for the background in the app. So auto means that the app is going to follow your phone setting or your device setting. If your device automatically switches between light and dark mode, you can now have the app follow that setting, which is what it originally did. Or you can just set it permanently to light mode or permanently to dark mode. You've got those three settings now that we've added in update 3.1. You've also got a clear targets button. This will clear the target card. If you have a bunch of targets and you don't want to go through one by one and delete them, you can now hit this clear targets button and clear the entire target card all at once. Scrolling down again to the very last thing I want to talk about, and that's going to be here under app build. So you have a version number here, and in these version numbers is some key data. Version 3.1, this is the major update that you're going to get here. You're originally on at launch 3.0. The first number, the 3, indicates the overall build. AB Mobile was version 2.0. AB Quantum is version 3. That first number will not change until there's another major overhaul of the app. The second number indicates major updates and upgrades. That's going to be features that are added, future features, upcoming things, that sort of deal. Anytime you see that second number revert, you can expect that there's been some pretty big changes and more than likely some new stuff and new functions added to the app, which we've done in this case. The very last number is minor fixes, bug fixes, and small patches. So as that last number progresses, that just means that we're sending out updates that fix those small things, those small bugs. That's not usually going to be a major update or a new function or feature. Something else that you may see here is the reticle library version number. There was an update that went out today. It's the 12th of December, and we're constantly updating that. We'll go over that here in a minute as well. But if you're wondering, you can always check your reticle library version to make sure that you're not on a super old version of the reticle library. At a minimum, you should at least be on a December 12th, 2024 moving forward version. Now moving forward through and into devices, there hasn't been a lot of major changes to devices, but there's a button here that I want to talk about that sometimes gets skipped over. If you want to know if your device is currently compatible with the AB Quantum app, click the information icon and it'll give you a list of currently compatible devices. So you can see here what works with the app at this time. Sometimes we may have little notifications of what's coming. In this case, it says the Kestrels are coming, and they are. Moving forward here, we're going to go to Profiles. There are some changes that have happened to profiles, and I want to go over these because quite a few of them are quality of life improvements, so to speak. So we'll start here at the top. You'll notice that there is, from the original launch version, there's now a new edit icon. By tapping that icon, you go straight into a profile so that you can start editing it. There's also this button. This button sets the current profile as the active profile. So we'll tap that and you'll see that that goes into the active slot here. So you can now just set the active profile by simply tapping on that arrow indicator, setting it to active. Something else I'd want to hit on here for just a moment is you'll see that this says BC number is red. We've gotten questions about this. That's because our bullet's actually not optimized due to us using too slow of a twist rate. You'll see it's orange. It'll either be green, orange, or red, red indicating the worst condition. And if you want to learn more about why, tap the information icon and it'll tell you that essentially you're being compromised by 7% and you really should be shooting a 1 in 13 barrel. You can use this to kind of test bullets with your rifle to see if your rifle's capable of spinning that bullet up, but it'll also tell you what kind of degradation you can expect with your current setup. So that's a fun little tool that you have. We've also another thing is we've limited the decimal places of our bullet length to 3 decimal places now. And I'm going to go ahead and go down here and set this one up here because one last thing that we've done here is scroll down here to show you scope units have been updated to include half, third, and eighth MOA clicks. So you now have those options as well. Now, when you're using the app, whatever you set these values to, if I set this to clicks, then your firing solution is going to be in clicks. And if I set it just to mils or MRAD, then it's just going to be in mils or MRAD. So keep that in mind, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. That's something we can add to this video because it won't take long. Another thing that we've done is another quality of life improvement is when you have a scope selected here, and you want to change either a reticle or a scope, if I click on reticle, it's going to just bring up reticles. Okay. If I click on the scope, it's going to bring up a list of scope options. All right. And we have, you'll see here, we've added a bunch more reticles. To touch on this for a brief moment, if you do not see a reticle or a particular brand in here that you're looking for, that's because reticles are the property of the person or company that designs them. They fall under copyright law, and I can't just put reticles in here at will. We have to have an LOA from the owner of the reticles in order to add them. So if a particular brand or reticle is missing that you're looking for, it very likely means that we're not given, currently don't have permission to add them. We've asked a lot of companies. We're still waiting to hear back from a lot of them. Not all of them have said yes. Most of them have said yes. But if it's not in this library, that means at this time we do not have the legal authority to put them in. We're still waiting on an LOA so that we can, because they're copyright protected, so we can add them. With that being said, we've added a ton of burst reticles since launch. We've added a ton of Bushnell. You'll see Elements in here. You'll see Leopolds in here. You'll see that we've added Steiner reticles into here. Some Tangent Theta reticles are being added in now. Trigicon's been added and Zero Compromise has been added. So we've added a ton of reticles for y'all. So that library has expanded as well. That is an active library, so it doesn't require an app update in order for us to add those in. They'll just come in, and as we put them in, they'll just automatically update like the bullet library does. We've also fixed the zero height and zero offset bug. For those of you that were using zero height and zero offset, that bug's been fixed with the zero offset. So that's in this update. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. Another thing to note, for those of you that have a lot of profiles, you can sort. You can sort by caliber or name if you want. If you have more than 40 profiles, it will only display 40 at a time. Anything more than 40, you're going to need to use the search bar. They're not going to populate. That's to keep the phones from slowing down too incredibly much. and you'll see it says showing all profiles. So I don't have any more profiles hidden. But if it doesn't say that, then you can use the search bar. If you happen to have 50 or 60, you'll have to use the search bar to see those extra ones. This quality of life improvement does include from the original version. These weren't in 3.0.0. These new buttons. This button will edit profiles. This button will set the current profile. If I were to click this, this sets this as the active profile. Those functions are still in the menu. They haven't been removed from the menu. We've just given you the extra functionality by giving you that easy access to them there with those buttons. Moving on through major update 3.1, we'll now get to the shoot screen, and you're going to see some changes here on the shoot screen. First change in the top left corner, by clicking on the name of the profile, no longer takes you to the profile menu. It now takes you to the active profile so you can make those edits. Now you'll see here from what I was talking about earlier, this is in mils right now. If I wanted this to be in clicks, if I were, and remember we've added more scope units for y'all, but if I wanted this to be in 1/3 MOA clicks instead, if I go ahead and change that to clicks, you'll see it now switches to clicks. This is true not only for the HUD, but also for other things like the range card is now in clicks, you can see. So just be aware that if you want those output in clicks, then you just simply need to set the profile to clicks. That's a question that's come up, so I wanted to address that. Now we're going to set this back to mils. Save changes, and it'll convert back to mils. All right, so that's one of the changes that's happened. We've improved how clicking this button works and the scaling of it by holding it for changing range. You've also noticed that you've got more ballistic data is now here at the bottom instead of the top to declutter, kind of declutter the screen a little bit. SG was added, range was added. We are bringing more things into this display. So there will be more in the future that's going to be output here. This is just what we're going to provide for now, but y'all will get more functionality in here. That's why it was moved down like this. But you now have this information bar down here. You'll also notice that there's a density altitude output here on the environment. That's only on the environment. If I say go to target card, you will see that it doesn't do that, which, by the way, we've improved the target speed indicator here. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but go back to environment. You'll now see that it tells you your current density altitude. So that's an improvement that we've added. We've also added more devices can now gather pressure. You'll see reading from phone. More devices have been added to the compatibility list that can use the phone to gather this current pressure. Where applicable, some phones are still giving us usable temperature, so you'll have that button for some users as well over here. With that being said, you'll also notice that there's a new button here, a little calculator symbol. You can calculate to density altitude now. So you're going to get these. This is the current pressure, the temperature. Those are both important. But if I wanted to, and this is where setting that unit before in settings mattered, I can adjust this to say 2,500 foot altitude and apply. And you'll see our DA is now set to 2,500. So if you wanted to use this to build a range card for 2,500 foot, you can do that. I recommend most of the time just using your actual sensors, and you'll see that it calculates my current density altitude. This device is currently reading our elevation and calculating that out for us. But again, you've got the option here, if you wanted to manually now calculate your DA and make those adjustments. You'll see it changes this pressure number, because that's what's happening, to correlate to the DA that you wanted to calculate a solution for. So we've given y'all that option now. Another thing that's come up as a question is wind speed. Wind speed is only populated from a device if you see that device symbol. So I currently don't have anything paired. That's intentional. And you'll see that you do not have one of these indicator buttons under your wind speed options or your wind direction. These are not populated from the internet or from a device if you don't have that little indicator. So no little indicator here for internet wind speed means that we're not populating wind when we gather these. These do individually. So when I tap this button, it's only going to update temperature. When I tap this button, it's only going to update humidity. All right, so that's something I wanted to touch on for just a brief moment, because that's a question that's come up quite a bit. Moving forward to the target card. You had the option before in the settings to clear the target card. Here's our target card. I want to go to the target control panel here for just a moment to point something out. We've improved the way the target speed estimation tool works, and we've also added, you can see here, your target speed to the target card so that you can see that here as well. That's new for 3.1. This was in 3.0, but it's still a question that comes up quite a bit. Can you export these? Yes, you can. Clicking this export button allows you to export a target, and you'll find that same button on the range card here. So you can see here the export button for the range card as well. So you do have that functionality. These tables will be in clicks if you picked a click value like I showed you earlier, or just regular mils or MOA if you're just set to mils or MOA. I also want to go back here, and I want to go back to the target card. Something else that we've been asked about, if you see the reticle button here on the target card and you click that, you'll see that it actually populates your target card into your reticle now. So if you build out a target card while you're at the range, you can actually populate that target card into the reticle. That's something we've been working on improving for y'all. Same actually goes for the range card. You have a reticle output view on the range card where you can now see where your ranges are on that reticle for your holdovers. All right, so we've improved upon that. And then the last thing, second to last thing I want to go over is the graph here. So we've been asked about the comparison graphs. They're coming back. We're going to bring back your ability to compare on the graph here. That's coming in another major update. So some of our beta testers already have this. It's being implemented. We're just doing things one at a time so that they can be done properly. And if an issue comes up, we only have to address a limited number of issues instead of a mountain of issues. Lastly, if you have any problems, bugs, or if you find an issue with the app, please use this support button you see here to send us a support ticket, because that gives us a lot more information. We can see what the app's doing. It really helps us track those problems down. We've done a lot of stability fixes, a lot of improvements. We've taken your feedback. We are still taking your feedback. If you have that, please send it to us. We're going to continue to make those improvements. But this is version 3.1, major update 3.1, and some of the revisions that you can expect with that. This is available now. Y'all will start seeing this as of the next couple days as it rolls out to users through the store. We hope you enjoy it, and we're going to continue working on this, so please continue sending your feedback. As always, please like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell. That way that you get these videos as they come out. You're not seeing them later on down the line. You'll get them right away so you can see what we're doing and the improvements that we're giving y'all and the upgrades that we're giving y'all as we improve upon AB Quantum. Thank you, and I hope y'all have a great day.